Hi everyone, this is Yoke van Dam. If I had to summarize what were some of my highlights of this last year, it would probably have to entail things like friendships, deep, meaningful relationships, the power of networking translating into media, paid speaking opportunities, collaboration, and also having work-life balance. So for your benefit, I've put some slides together, but I know that everyone won't be able to see it. So I will just also highlight to you what is on the slide. So one of the things that I found really valuable in this last year is relationships. And on the slide, you can see Alison Weihe and Joe Boswani at one of the first meetings we had of PSA at Arthur Goldstuck's house. And Alison and I actually formed this deep relationship when we were on the marketing committee more than 2 years ago at PSASA. And in this last year, we networked, collaborated so many times, and it really created amazing opportunities for both of us that really resulted in paid work. Another friend that really became a colleague is Yael Geffen, who I met through Margaret Hirsch, and I introduced her to the professional speakers. She actually spoke for us last year. And this year, she's actually earned so much money from speaking, and it's really been rewarding being part of her journey. Another speaker that I've become quite a close friend is Nick Smith, and we will also be collaborating together. And he actually won as the Rebel Ninja. He won the Speaker Factor this year. So very, very proud of him. So on this photo, you'll see beginning of the year when we started off actually having face-to-face meetings at PSA, we started off with a small group of people, and it just literally exploded into 45 people at a meeting and 45 people that's actually coming to our year-end function this Saturday at Alison Weihe's house. So I remember when Jabu, Alison, and I were standing at that swimming pool at Arthur's house, and we were talking about opportunities. And I said to her that I was going to be speaking at the Maslow in Sandton, and she must definitely come along so that I could introduce her to Herman of the Maslow. And guess what? She was our next keynote speaker, and she actually turned it into a book launch as well. So we ended up actually sharing a stage. So these photos are of the first Maslow event. We called it Captaincy Me for Entrepreneurs. I was one of the keynote speakers. After posting photos of this on LinkedIn, I actually got inquiries of a keynote, and like literally the next week, I was paid to speak in front of a crowd of 80 people at a leadership convention. So never think that your free gigs won't actually lead to opportunities. So what I also did, which was a big win in this last year, was I decided to play more with technology. So I was playing with Slido.com. I got people to engage with LinkedIn posts in my event, and the algorithm really liked it. So that thousands of people literally saw that post of mine on that night that actually got in front of the person that needed a speaker. I also really invested in relationships, being part of the committee of the Johannesburg chapter. I got to know Bukanka Lepo really well. This is Nick Smith when he won the Speaker Factor. And then you'll also see Gary Tintinger. So Gary Tintinger won the Southern African Toastmasters Championship this year. And I also went and supported Bukang, where he was speaking with a fellow speaker, actor, and producer who we will be bringing to PSA next year, who actually wrote and acted in the film Losing Lorato that's currently on Netflix. And here are just some photos of me MCing the gig at the Maslow and me and Alison. And then Alison finally speaking at the Power of Us convention in April. And there you'll see her speaking at Arthur's house. So then I started rubbing shoulders with fellow speakers, speaking at conventions like the Social Media Conference. And it was interesting because I saw Lundy Jack and Mike Hancock that recently got married. I met them at this event after listening to them online. Here I was speaking, and the next moment, Tiffany was speaking before me, Tiffany Markman, and Robin Pullen was speaking after me. So after this event, I introduced them to each other, and then Robin actually spoke at the Johannesburg chapter in a few weeks' time. So it's very interesting how you can benchmark against other speakers but also collaborate and then bring them into your environment at the same time. I loved also placing speakers like Rassie Libeskaghni. I worked very well with Brian Turner and Nikki Bush. We had speakers like Arthur Goldstack. We had Paul DeToy playing guitar for us. We had Sharon King presenting from her live studio. We had Max Moyo entertaining us. And all of the time, if you're benchmarking against other speakers, people also get you to see you as an MC and in that environment. So while I was placing speakers at PSA Johannesburg, I was also speaking at other chapters. So in the year, I became a professional member, which means that I earned enough income from speaking, training, coaching to be deemed a professional speaker, and that gave me a certain status. I then spoke at the Pretoria chapter, and then at the Book Writers Mastermind, and at this Women's Global Mastermind as well. And this led to other opportunities. I was interviewed by Monique Verdane, who's an international speaker, and I got onto her channel. I was interviewed on Ekurhuleni FM through Mareka, who actually attended the Pretoria chapter. I started posting a lot of blogs on the PSA website, and this actually opened up opportunities to me as well to being noticed. I ran a lot of masterminds on leadership with Brenda from Be Advisory, and that led to opportunities to getting onto panel interviews for women panels. So through her networks, it actually opened up other networks for me. And then me and my husband decided we wanted to change our sitting room around. We got in a designer, decided to reupholster our couch. I got a handmade oak bookshelf made where I shoot some of my YouTube videos. And then through the PSA blogging and constantly posting, I was actually asked to be on Soweto TV. And this was actually done on my couch in my own house. So you will never know what opportunities will come your way. I also got my own blueprint designed, which really shows what our business does in terms of creating meaningful workspaces for leaders and teams, empowering them to have confidence flow, to teach them how to influence and cultivate a growth mindset in all of these ways through speaking, training, and coaching. I've spoken at many events. In May, me and my husband traveled to Greece, and I've brought all of those lessons back into my speaking, training, coaching, and writing. And then finally, I've been doing a lot more international work in my Women in Leadership program, and just bringing in everything that I do. And I just wanted to say to you, believe in yourself, but also walk the talk. If you're teaching emotional intelligence, apply it yourself. If you're teaching people negotiation skills, apply it to your own business, and you will see yourself thrive. Thank you so much for listening to me going on and on and on about the highlights of my year. This was Yoke van Dam from Wacken.